Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. We're still enjoying the moment that we got to hold an Olympic gold medal, and so did our next guest.
Yeah, absolutely. Condo Leo joining us, Leo Wilk, to talk about the Vancouver real estate market and some big changes in the mortgage industry. But first of all, how cool are gold medals?
Gold medal is cool. It was very, very heavy.
Really heavy.
Yeah, like it's actual, it'd be worth it. Not that Ashley walks around with it in her purse, but it'd be worth a lot of money.
I'd carry it in my purse too if I had
Me too. Now we have you here today because there's a lot of confusion out there about the new rules that are going to be happening as of March 18th.
Yes.
What is happening?
Well, there's three things that are happening. One is what's really affecting the market, and it's taking the amortization period from 35 years to 30.
Okay.
And now if someone doesn't know what amortization is, quickly it's the amount of time you're going to take to pay off your home, principal and interest included.
Yeah, 35 years used to be the max, now it's 30 years
Now it's
to pay
30,
it off.
exactly. And what that's doing is lowering purchasing power for a lot of buyers, especially first-time home buyers. They're the ones really affected by
Okay,
this.
we have a great example here. Under the old rules, 35-year, if someone could qualify for 370.
Yeah, so right now, based on $55,000 to $65,000 of income, you could qualify in a 35-year mortgage for $370,000. As of March 18th, that's going to be $340,000, everything staying the same.
Right, so the purchasing power is what changes for people.
Exactly. And it's a monthly payment thing too. It's a bottom line for first-time home buyers is we need our monthly payment at X amount.
Because that's what they're looking at, and it's going to make that number higher.
Exactly. And
Okay, now that doesn't sound like a huge amount of money, especially amortized over sort of 30 years, but there's a big difference between what you can get at 340 and what you can get at 370.
there's definitely a huge quality difference at that mark. $30,000 goes a long way in this market, and
You brought some visuals to show
Now
just
this
what
is
the difference
amazing.
are.
Tell us what we're looking at here.
Okay, so the first one we're going to see, it's 13 years old. It is downtown. It's a 455 square foot studio, no parking and no view whatsoever.
Okay.
Second one we're going to see, it's 370. At 6 years old, it's in Yale Town. It's 506 square feet parking and view. So this
is the
Kitchen to the 340.
of 340.
Okay.
So you got white appliances. It's closed off, and then it goes into the living room there. So you can call that a city view almost, but it's not really. You can just tell it's a bit older. It's a bit dated.
right.
Yeah.
And now let's look at what 370 can get you.
370 is you're going to get a kitchen like this. It's practically brand new, stainless steel appliances.
What
It's
a
got really
difference.
nice finishes.
Yeah, no kidding.
And again, it's an extreme case, but it is what's happening right now.
Right.
And again, this is another one that sold for 370, looking right into the kitchen.
Wow.
So why are they doing this with the 35 to 30 years?
Well, they're doing it because they're
We've
saying
been bad.
Canadians are being very irresponsible with debt. It's in the trillions. What they're saying is the income to debt ratio is at 150%. So
Yeah.
what that means is
not a healthy number.
if you're making every $1,000 you make, you owe $1,500. So typically they're bringing these rules because in the past what they do is they would increase rates. And there's two reasons they can't increase rates right now given the market. First one is when you do increase it, our dollar goes up, which will have an adverse effect on our foreign exchange, which isn't going to help the economy.
Yeah.
Second one is because prices are pretty high already in Vancouver, people are already stretched. So if all of a sudden you hike the rates, they got to refinance. They're not going to be able to afford a $2,000
Yeah.
mortgage from a $1,400.
Well, and as you look across the country, you can see that this is going to probably have a more significant impact in a market like Vancouver than it would in a market like Winnipeg or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Have you seen evidence of this? I mean, are people trying to rush to sort of get in there before the rules change?
When they first were introduced, everyone was kind of not sure what was happening. Then all of a sudden, there's been a big spike. So if you walked around downtown last weekend, Saturday, Sunday, when it was nice out, all you saw was open
Realtors.
house signs and a flood of realtors everywhere. And we're easy to spot because we dress like this, and people have paper and they're following us around. Going from open to open. And it's funny because someone who had like a 2-bedroom open house in the 500,000 mark, they said, yeah, 2-3 people came through. But someone who had a studio or 1-bedroom, they said 20 people came through to have a
Really?
And that just goes to show the people that are trying to get into the market. Now, today is February 23rd.
Yeah.
These rules come in on March 18th. How can you get the old rules? Like, is the deadline March 18th? Can you squeeze in? How does it work?
The deadline's March 18th, then what you need to do is you need to have a lender-approved mortgage before March 18th.
Okay.
So don't leave it until the 16th. Try to get it in before the 14th, 15th. You don't have to actually close on the home, but you do have to have the accepted contract, show the lender, they have to approve it, get everything in order, because if you submit it on 17th and the 18th hits, you've just lost that 5-year
Well, and
buyback.
realtors usually work in step with a mortgage broker, right?
Exactly,
To
yeah.
help people along in that process.
Once we
as well.
meet our client, we find out who their mortgage broker is, and then we have constant communication.
Now, there's always a big boom in the springtime when it comes to real estate in Vancouver, and we are right in the beginning of that. What are these rules going to do to the market?
Well, what they have done is the buyers have been buying. And I mean, the lower end market have been they've just been scooping them all up. If some hits the market, it's gone pretty quick if it's nice. A lot of people are saying that it could affect prices up to 8%, could push people to the lower mainland, but again, it is Vancouver, and I know we say that and it's kind of cliche, but it is. We got voted #1 city again. What does that do to the prices? No one knows, but it's a great city to live in. We've got a ton of foreign investment coming.
Have we been seeing bidding wars again? Is it that kind of market?
There's been multiple offers in a lot of situations, and I've also seen there's just not as much negotiation room. So places are selling. Before Christmas, I mean, you could bargain a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
Now I'm seeing solds for $2,000 less, $3,000 less, or even over, because there have been a lot of multiple offers. I've talked to a ton of realtors who've had that.
You do not live in a boring world. I mean, the real estate market in Vancouver is a fascinating thing to sort of watch and be a part of as well.
Everyone always wants to talk about it.
Just like the weather. Now, we're talking about all the negatives coming in for first-time home buyers. Let's talk about some of the positives. What are some of the advantages when you're getting into the market for the first time?
There's 3 main advantages for a first-time home buyer. The first one is tax credits. So as of last year, if you're a first-time home buyer, in your first year of owning the home, you get a tax credit, and last year it came up to about $750. So if your tax is $1,500, you save half, which is great. Second one is, as a first-time home buyer, you can pull up to $25,000 of RSPs out of them, so you can put that on a down payment or closing cost. If there's 2 of you, like a couple who are first-time, you can pull up to $50,000.
Yeah, it makes a big difference for a lot of people.
And the biggest one is the savings on property transfer tax. So property transfer tax is 1% on the first $200,000 and 2% on the balance of any purchase.
And in Vancouver, that stacks up fast.
That's a lot. In a $400,000 home, that's $6,000 right off the top when you close. That adds to it. First-time homebuyers do get an exemption from that, up to $425,000. Between $425,000 and $450,000, they get partial exemptions.
Right.
So that's the biggest savings right there.
So if you are thinking about being active in the real estate market, you may want to start talking to someone now. And I would assume if people don't have a mortgage broker, you have someone that you would be working with that you could refer them to.
I've got 2 people I work with, really, and they actually really helped me a lot in this. It was Ali Kassim and Ryan Zupan. They've done a great job giving me all this info, and they're on the ball. That's why I work with them. They know what they're doing.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, Leo. You can go to Leo's website to find out more information. Of course, we've